Hey everybody, Zach here, and I'm back from NAMM. My voice is slowly but surely coming back, and I thought, you know what? I'm going to share my thoughts on NAMM 2023 with all of you guys. So, overall, it was a good show. It was cool to be able to connect with all my friends, see brands that I know and have yet to meet in person, and just be able to hang out with everyone. You know, that is really the true joy of what NAMM is seeing people you don't get to see maybe once a year and getting to spend time with those people, because the connections that you make at NAMM often are the best reason to go. And that's what I did this past year. And it was good. My whole intention was to go do a podcast with Rhett and a special guest. And a lot of this is going to be reiterated in Dipped in Tone very soon, but I wanted to share my thoughts. But all in all, my experience was fun. It was, I think, worth it. But everything I heard from all the vendors that had a reason to go, that were trying to get dealers, that were trying to sell things, their experiences were similar to mine. They were good. They met with a lot of dealers, made some sales, moved the needle, so to speak, and everyone said that it was worth it and they were going to do it again. And I felt different when I was there. And I don't know if it was because of the fact that I was spending time with so many more people that I had grown to know, or if because NAMM is more of a return to form. So first off, the show itself was packed. It was very, very busy the whole time, especially Friday and Saturday. Now, I think a lot of that is due in part to the fact that it was open to the public and they were able to come into the show the whole time. So not just attendees, which are, or just guests of exhibitors or dealers. There were a lot of people who just bought a badge and got to come hang out. And that's good and bad, because it's hard to conduct business when there's a lot of people wanting to play stuff, wanting to just talk and visit and all that. You know, you spend a few minutes doing that, a potential dealer could pass you by. But I do think it's important for those things to be accessible to the world at large. I think people need to be able to come and experience NAMM and experience the brands and see all the things that they have been hearing about or not been able to get to a store and check out at the show. And it's a cool place to do that, even though it's loud. You can't really try anything at volume unless you're doing it with headphones. And it's a whole, rigmarole if you are too loud, because you can get in trouble and all that. But there were so many guests, and I think that's what made it feel so alive. And I think it's very smart. But part of that too is because the bottom floor of NAMM, which is usually reserved for a lot of manufacturers, turnkey style manufacturers, a lot of import things, parts and stuff, were not in the basement. They were upstairs, interdispersed with whatever industry they were in. So in Guitarland, Hall D, typically, there were a ton of Chinese manufacturers, a lot of turnkey manufacturers, things like that, which is fine. But I feel like how they did it, and this may just be because of when people bought their booth or whatever, they were kind of intermingled with everything else. And that made navigating the show floor a little confusing, at least in my opinion. I would have rather seen everything a little bit more isolated from each other, so it would have been easier to know, kind of where you were. Because if you're going through pedals and then there's, an import guitar manufacturer with a bunch of body blanks, it's kind of confusing. Like, wait a minute, your frame of reference is a bit thrown off. But that's okay. And I think if NAMM goes back to how it was, we're going to see a lot of those companies, go back into the basement and they'll redo that. And honestly, being in the basement is kind of great because it's way quieter. It's more peaceful. I I wish more people got down there, but it is a nice place to exhibit if it makes sense for your business. One of the things that dawned on me while I was there, and this is something that Rhett and I have talked about a lot on Dipped in Tone, and I've had a lot of conversations with other people about this sort of thing, is that there needs to be some sort of media day. Right now, as it sits, if someone wants to come in and make videos, if someone wants to come in and make content, and I'm talking about professionals, it's a real pain. Premier Guitar does it, and they have the rig to do it. It's portable, it's easy to go. But if you don't have the people to be able to do that, it's a bit of a nightmare because it's loud. There's so many people, and it's just really hard to try and fight with, buyers and attendees when you're trying to make content. So I think that that's something they need to consider. Maybe having a media day before the show, maybe having time early in the day that is just for creation, media, and no attendees, no guests, no buyers, just exhibitors and media. I think that would be really important, and I think that it would give NAMM a lot more exposure too, because if people can come in and do this thing and make content without fighting, the drum booth next to you or the acoustic guitar demonstration or, whatever, you're going to be able to have a better time creating content. And I think that's really important. Now, back to the guests and attendees thing. I think that's important. I think people need to be able to come to these sort of things. Very few opportunities exist for people from all over the world to fly into a place, see almost every major manufacturer of things, and meet people who have influencer playing or whatever. Be able to meet YouTubers, presenters, artists. All these people are there for the most part. And it's a real joy. And you can see it on people's faces that they're so excited to meet people. It happened to me, and that's so surreal, but it's awesome. And I love connecting with people. But I will say that watching booths, because I wasn't exhibiting, I was just there, and a huge thank you to Two Rock, who had a pedal board of mine there. But watching people try to conduct business when there's a sea of guests it's difficult. So I do think that guests should be limited to maybe half a day, maybe just a fraction of the time for a couple of the days, and then give them full run of the last day, because it's just so hard. Even if it was just a few hours of only buyers and exhibitors, it would make a big difference, because just navigating the paths between the booths would be a lot easier if there were no guests there. And I'm not saying that they don't belong there. I'm just saying that I think it needs to be limited so that people can do business, because ultimately this is about doing business. It's a connection of music merchants. So it's something that I think needs to be considered. But all that to say, in 2024, January, the end of January, NAMM will return, and Mythos is going to go. We're going to have a booth. We're going to give it one last try in Anaheim proper. I've done the Nashville show with my own booth. I've always shared or done things like that for the Anaheim show, and I feel like if I'm ever going to see the true merit of it, I need to try it by myself with my own booth. So the whole group of guys are going to go. So everybody's going to go. Going to bring the guys, may bring the fam. We'll see. And we're going to have a booth. Hopefully we'll be able to tie in Dipped in Tone, pedal pushers, do the whole thing, do some giveaways. We have so many things we're wanting to share and launch and make. And I think NAMM is going to be a perfect time to really let the world get to know what Mythos is all about and see the direction we're heading. So hopefully that's going to happen. And I hope you guys are going to come out and check it out. It's very exciting. It's scary. It's a lot of money. And, you know, if it doesn't pay off, we'll never do it again. But we won't know unless we try. So we're going to try. But anyway, leave me a comment about your thoughts if you went to the show, if we met, whatever. I'd love to know what you think about NAMM and the future of it. And yeah, like, subscribe, do all the things. I'm going to do more content like this, more content like everything. Every bit of content I can think of, we're going to try it. And hopefully be able to further connect with you guys. So thank you all. I'll talk to you soon.